So if you're a mid-handicap golfer wondering what you might get out of a golf lesson, stay tuned for this video where I take you behind the scenes for a glimpse into one of my recent sessions with my coach, Caroline Bradley. Roll the intro. Team, Sage here, aka the Golf Hackr. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another episode of Scratch 22. In today's episode, we're going back to the end of last year for my final lesson of 2021 with Caroline Bradley. There's no groundbreaking stuff in here and many experienced golfers will already know all this stuff, but I thought I would share it just in case there's some useful insights for any of those still on the learning journey as I am. So I hope you can take something away from it.
Right, so on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say you're gripping the club at?
I'm aiming for a 3.
Yeah, okay.
At times, like there was one swing in there where I'd gone too loose and actually,
right.
the club actually
right, okay.
slipped in my hands.
Let's just firm it up a little bit more.
Okay.
So it's in the fingers, firm it up a little bit more, because I think we haven't touched your rotational movement.
Sure.
Where the posture's looking very good.
Okay.
Okay. So you're saying you're thinking about a little bit too much, but is it a little bit too much of sort of paranoia? You're going to hit it left.
Right.
So you're not thinking, right, I've aimed, I've aligned, get there.
Right.
So we want to get here, and the main thing that we want to find at the end of our swing, are we totally balanced here with a good position, sternum here, knee outside of arch. Start to think about where you're at with your follow through a little bit more.
Okay.
To try and, because we have not touched your golf swing. We haven't touched the swing. Haven't changed anything. We haven't told you to get in a position. All we're doing is getting this grip. So we've gone from hitting it really nice, maybe a little bit outright,
Yeah.
to now all of a sudden a low. So it's you starting to get the feel. You've got to feel, if you want to get that grip pressure a little bit tighter,
Right.
you've got to give me that feedback.
Sure.
I feel it's
Okay.
too loose.
Okay.
So, because if I say you've got to feel the wrists are free,
Yeah.
that might not work for you.
Sure.
You've got to think, right, I kind of get it, but I'm not getting it. That's where the feed comes. So if you feel you need to go a little bit firmer on board here,
Right.
please do,
Okay.
because we've got to get, where is it going wrong
Sure.
for you at the minute.
Okay.
When you set up over the ball, just close your eyes and feel 100% where the weight is on your feet.
Okay.
Identify if you're slightly on the balls of your feet, slightly in the heels. Yeah, right, when you go to the ball, where are you now? Yeah, right, address it. Either move forwards, yeah, so you've got to get comfortable, feel you've got the space.
Was that me too close to the ball?
Yeah, you had
I
too
feel
much.
like I'm-
You had way too much knee flex. You'll see
Right.
that in your video.
Right.
So when you were here, you said, yeah, I'm good there. Then you went to the ball, then you said you're on your toes.
Sure.
Walk away, okay, that you'll see.
Sure.
Okay, then walk away, go to the ball, address the ball, get comfortable from there. So now, that one you were stuck too far on your knees. Watch the previous one when I said to you, where do you feel your weight is? The previous one to that. I felt you a little bit on the toes.
And then I see.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you know it's got to be on there, there and there. Just call that chunky. Just got a bit quick from the top.
Yeah.
Now this is where what works for you doesn't necessarily work for me, doesn't
Sure.
necessarily work for the next person I teach. But your wrists will have a certain range.
Sure.
So your grip has to work around you.
Right.
And that's why you'll see a tour player with maybe a very strong setup or a bit of a weak setup. But we can't question, unless we absolutely know that player, to why. But if it works for them and they're doing really well, maybe it's because of the way their wrist wants to actually sit, the range they get through their wrists, because we all get different range. And that's not for me, so it's got to be there and it's got to be there.
Yeah.
And it's got to be nice and passive to the way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
So again, another interesting things weren't going so well.
Yeah.
So you're saying to me, I feel I don't know my grip pressure, but you felt you were also getting trapped in your movement. So then that's where you as a player on the practice ground, to me, you must never go to your swing. That's not the fault.
Sure.
The fault is somewhere in the setup. Then if the setup is absolutely 100%, then there's a move coming in that we need to, but that's the last thing on the list we're going to check.
Yeah.
So you're on the practice ground in New Zealand in your shorts and t-shirt, and you're having trouble, and you're thinking, yeah, but a baseball bat, nice, easy way, but just get that feeling of nice motion, that lovely follow through, hold it there, but just keep going back to setup. Keep going back to setup.
So if you tune into that lesson hoping for some sort of magic fix that would have you sending balls straight down the middle of the fairway time after time, you'd probably be feeling quite disappointed right now. But that's the reality for any learner golfer that wants to reach a really low level handicap, is that they have to build their swing on solid fundamentals. I started the Golf Hackr, and in fact I chose that name for this channel because when I started it, my intention, or what I'd hoped, was that I could discover all the tips and tricks, the shortcuts, if you like, the hacks that could help you become a better golfer in a short space of time. But what I've discovered is that if you are aiming to reach a really low level, you're not going to make it unless your swing is built on solid fundamentals. Caroline also pointed out there that when it comes to the golf swing, there's no such thing as one size fits all. What works for one golfer might not work the same for another golfer. Golfers swing the club differently, and we see that with all the different players on the tour. They have completely different swings. But to me, this just points to the value of getting the help of an actual coach or someone that really knows their stuff. Until you're working with someone in the flesh in real time that can really identify exactly what it is that you're getting wrong in your setup, somewhere in these fundamentals, or if it is something in your swing, you're never really going to have complete confidence that what you're trying to address or what you're trying to change through tips you might have found on YouTube or another golfer that you know, unless they really know what they're talking about, you're never really going to know if that's exactly what it is that you need to change. So despite the fact I've still got plenty of work to do on these fundamentals, I have carded a few good scores lately, including 2 83s at Cruise Hill. So that's seen my handicap drop now to 13.8. So I am within touching distance of my target of below 13 by mid-April. It's going to take a couple more good scores, but hopefully with some good weather over the next few weeks, I'll be looking good to reach that target. As I said in last week's video, I'm starting to consider some upgrades to the bag. So next week I'll bring you a what's in the bag video so you can see the sticks that I've been working with to date. We've got some more every shot course vlogs coming up, and I've had some more lessons with Caroline, so hopefully I'll give you some more insights from those there. But that's it for this week's episode, team. Thanks for tuning in. Hope to see you next week. Until then, take it easy.